Working out without using the weight, you got to be crazy. Hey, folks, Andrew here, Top Fitness Strategies. I am the face who runs the place. And Top Fitness Strategies is all about the fitness over 50 crowd. You want to look better, feel better, gain some confidence. And we do so in special ways. And I do this video podcast and regular podcast to help you out to understand a lot of different things. Today, we will be talking about dynamic resistance training. That's right. So, my version of dynamic resistance training is no weights. Now, before I get into a lot of details, let's define a few things. Just because I say this is what it is doesn't mean your trainer says it's what it is. Keep that in mind. Any kind of resistance type of workout, another thing I want to talk about, is very good for you. All right. So, a couple of things before we get started, and I'm going to be reading from different websites. Okay. So, and I'm not going to list them all because there's too many of them here. So, without getting too technical, dynamic resistance is a method of fitness training where you have to visualize some sort of opposing force on a muscle or muscle groups you're working out in. Okay. Now, also, just dynamic training itself, dynamic exercises are ones in which the muscles lengthen and shorten while the joints also move. All right, keep all that in mind. Now, here's one in Iowa. This is the National Library of Medicine. I will give you this website. It says dynamic resistance training, DTR, is defined as any kind of resistance exercise that involves joint movement and focuses on the development of muscular skeleton strength. Muscular skeleton strength. Wow. Is considered an important component of osteoporosis prevention and therapy. Okay, so yes, dynamic resistance is important. What I'm talking about is the non-weight version of dynamic resistance. You have to visualize what's going on. And there's also the heart rate component of this whole thing. But first, let me give you an example. All right, make sure I'm focused on camera for this one here. And if you're listening to this on podcast, sorry, I'll try to explain as much as I can. Suppose there's a couple of great big rubber bands in front of you. All right. However much tension you want to put on them. And your goal is to pull one side of the rubber bands away from the wall while the other side is secured to the wall. So you're going to visualize you're pulling this rubber band towards you, and whatever kind of strength you want it to be. It could be super duper 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 strong, or it could be as light as a feather, whatever you want it to do. But when you're doing that, you focus on which muscles are being pulled. So you're focusing on your arms, your back, your chest. You're pulling it towards you as the tension increases, and then let it go back toward the wall. But you're resisting it to go back. You don't want it to go back, but it's pulling you back at the same time. Okay, so right then you're working the muscles without ever touching the weight. That is dynamic resistance training, the way I'm explaining it. Okay, keep that in mind. It's not just for the muscles. Remember that. Dynamic resistance training is not just for the muscles. It's all about heart rate and it's all about cardio. But Andrew, I didn't think you can get cardio. You can do a cardio workout without running or riding a bike or something like that. Wrong. Okay, we're increasing and decreasing the heart rate. And to get your heart in shape, your heart doesn't know what exercise you're doing. It's just pumping muscles to that particular blood. Regardless if you're working out with weights, without weights, running, biking, swimming, what have you, the heart pumps muscles to the blood. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about heart rate. And I'm going to read a couple of things here. I know it's not like me to read a couple of things, but I want to make sure I get this correct. The ideal heart rate for people over 50, keep that in mind, over 50 years old, is between 60 and 100 beats per minute. And this is from the American Heart Association. Okay. That's a resting heartbeat. So if you're laying in bed, watching TV, relaxing for whatever reason, that's what your resting heart rate should be. And basically a heartbeat is how many times your heart pumps or your heart beats in a particular minute. Okay. So a lower heart rate, according to the American Heart Association, means you're in better shape. Pretty much, roughly, you're in better shape than somebody that has a higher heart rate. Higher heart rate equals you're more prone to high blood pressure. So you don't want to have that. All right. So anything that makes your heart move more during exercise is a good thing because it strengthens the heart. The heart says, hey, wait a second, I got to pump more blood because we're using some muscles, which strengthens the heart as well as the muscle because you're tensing your muscle as you do that. Does that make sense? You understanding this? I might be talking fast a little bit too, so I'll try to slow down some. So to get to your proper workout zone, if you will, if your resting heartbeat is 60 to 100 beats per minute, to get to the proper workout zone where you want your heart to be, and also some people call this the fat burning zone. A real crude way of doing this is take the number 220 minus your current age, and then take that times 80%. So here's an example. 220, let's say you're 50 years old. Minus 50 is what? 170, right? 170. 170 times 80% is 136. So as you're working out, your ideal heart rate or fat burning zone heart rate should be about 136-ish, according to this formula. Is it balls on accurate, so to speak? No, it is not. But it's a great way to indicate what you're doing. Okay, so the whole purpose is to get your heart rate going. Now, I will also admit a dynamic resistance workout, and yes, you can have a whole workout, a good 30-minute, 45-minute workout with doing dynamic resistance, and that'll be for another time. I will admit this kind of workout probably won't put you in a position to show off your body on stage. At least I've never seen anybody to do that. Now, also, if your entire goal is to show off your body on stage, I'm probably not the channel you want to be listening to because I don't focus on that. Although it's a fantastic goal. I know several people, I've interviewed several people who do that, and it's awesome, fantastic. But majority of the people that I converse with, that I train, that I talk to, don't want to spend that kind of time at the gym because believe me, it does take a lot of time, but it's a wonderful thing if you so choose to do it. Keep that in mind. Okay, so as you're doing this dynamic resistance, again, all about heart rate and muscle. I don't know. I don't want to say muscle growth because you will see the definition of muscles because blood has to go somewhere, and as you're using the muscle, whatever muscle you're using, the blood will be pumping there. So yes, the muscle will be used. So keep that in mind as well. So the blood has to be pumped to the muscle, and also it comes back. So just like a regular workout, just like you're lifting weights, the heart does the same thing. Because the heart doesn't know whether you're lifting a weight or not, if that makes sense again. So this is basically a workout without having to lift weights. I said a rubber band thing, and these are some notes that I put down for myself. And so the whole key to this is visualization and control. So for instance, going back to the rubber band method, if you look at the wall or think of rubber bands that are attached to the wall and you're just going like this and pumping back and forth, it ain't going to do anything. You have to visualize it and put your own resistance on it. If you want to push back against it, pretend like you're trying to push the wall away, or maybe moving through, pushing your hands through concrete or something. And also as you're coming up, doing any kind of curls or squats or anything, you can visualize that and focus, putting tension on the muscle, whether you're pushing it or pulling it. Whatever exercise you're doing. And once you fully understand that, you'll be surprised what kind of workout you get. A lot of this is involved with yoga, Tai Chi especially. There's all kinds of other martial arts that use this kind of practice as they do it. And it is a great way to have cardio. It's high impact, low resistance. Wait a second. Am I saying that right? High cardio, low impact. That's what it is, because you're not putting a lot of impact on your joints. Okay, I can talk all day about this, but this has been long enough. I'll stop it here. Say, hey, if you're watching for the first time, check that out over here. 102 at-home common sense health and fitness tips. That is our sponsor. That is an ebook that I wrote, and it's all about being healthy at home. And no, it's not me showing you how to do 102 different exercises. Check it out, topfitnessstrategies.com/102 tips. You'll understand what it's all about. I'll also link to it in the show notes. Okay, check it out. You'll have fun with it, and we'll go from there. Okay, again, Andrew, Top Fitness Strategies. I am the face who runs the place. All about fitness over 50. Look better, feel better, gain some confidence. I'll stop it here. Until next time, this is me. Ciao.